Sorry, I started talking, didn't realize my microphone was off. Hello, hello, everybody. I hope everybody is doing well. Sorry for the background noise. Needed to change position for my chair. Hello, Net's Vlog. Hello, Tatum. Hello, Canadian Life. And of course, we had Lashes Journey come in earlier. I know she's probably in the background listening somewhere. She's a busy mom of five kids, husband, and everything. And thank you everybody for taking a moment to be here and to listen. I know technically this was scheduled for yesterday morning at 9, but I didn't feel so awesome in the morning, and completely forgot to reschedule it. I had to reschedule last minute for this morning, then change the time ever so slightly because then I realized I have a quick little premiere video that came out at 10 o'clock. So thank you guys for being here and for your understanding. And obviously, unlike Tuber Chat, there's not millions and millions of people here chit chatting, but I hope all of you stay and enjoy. And unlike Tuber Chat, my videos, my lives are no longer 2, 3, 4 hours long. That's going to be a relatively quick video, maybe 20, 30 minutes, where I basically give you guys my thoughts on movies that I've seen. Yes, thank you, Tatum. Thank you very much. I know that you guys are taking time out of your day to come and watch me here live. So I'm always grateful for that and appreciative. And even if all you guys do is listen in the background, that's absolutely fine. There's no such thing as bad participation as far as I'm concerned. Of course, I would love it if all of you are chit chatting and had all 1,400 of my subscribers here. Of course, I would love that. But I also know that people like Net's vlogging is from Hong Kong, right? So his time zone or their time zone is very different from mine. I have several people that are from Australia or the Philippines, right? Where it might be in the afternoon or late at night as well. So I know that not everybody can come to a live. I can't come to everybody else's live either. So grateful that you guys do take the time to come and see me. Excellent. You're listening as you're cleaning. I know I need to be cleaning as well. There's looking around my room and a little bit of a disaster. That's also part of the reason why I don't cam up because it's like, I don't want to be sharing my visual mess of my room around with people. So I try not to go live too often and have everything in the background. Hello, Simply Jenna. How are you? Thank you for being here and taking time to be here. If you guys can, I know that there's people that have already voted, but I'm just, reminding everybody to vote in the poll. And it's basically, do you eat food or snacks during a movie? While you're at the theater, I know I often do, not always, but sometimes I'm fond of course, the popcorn and putting way too much butter on the popcorn. It's it's really almost sad how much butter I put on the popcorn, but I really love butter on popcorn, especially when the popcorn is nice and fresh and warm and just freshly made like under 2, 3 minutes ago. So, anyways, so if you guys can take a second to answer the poll, the answer is of course yes. Yes, of course you eat snacks or food while you're watching. No, you don't. Either it's because it's too expensive or you just don't eat. Um, or third option is I sneak the snacks in to save money, which is understandable. I know I tried when I go eat snacks at a movie theater. I usually have a small root beer with no ice and a medium root beer with no ice and a small popcorn, and that those just those two things. And I have what's called in Canada we have the Scene Points card, which is a points card for the movie theater. I save $3 about it comes up to about $11 and something instead of $14 and something Canadian. So and I find that a bit expensive just for those two things. But anyways, I'm glad that you guys are here. So please do take a second to answer the poll. Hello, Bang Osiop. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Thank you for taking the time to come in from Indonesia. So I'm glad that you're here and taking the time to, uh, you know, out of your what I assume is the late afternoon, evening. I know Indonesia, you guys tend to be ahead in time for compared to me, who's Canadian. It's now a little past 10 o'clock in the morning. Hello, hello, Chaos Rain. How you doing? So we're gonna get started in a minute or so. Of course, as usual, I'm gonna give you guys a basic summary of the movie and then go ahead and give you guys my personal thoughts about it. So just give me a second here because I do want to make sure I get the character names correct. So I will look it up on Wikipedia. I make no shame about it, guys. I do often get a lot of my information, a lot of what I'm saying from Wikipedia. I personally am a big fan of the website. I do know, of course, like everybody, the only criticism I've ever heard of Wikipedia is, oh, people can edit. Yes, people can edit it. That's very true. And, that's very much part of it. But they do have people in the background fact checking what gets edited. So if I come out and edit and say, well, this person is a million years old, somebody's going to fact check it to make sure is that true. And of course, if they find out and no, it's not true, last time I checked, there is nobody that's 65 million years old, at least as far as I'm concerned. They will correct the information, and I will get a little warning. And if I continue to give erroneous or misinformation, I will eventually get banned from Wikipedia. So they do have people there making sure everything is correct and fact checked and all that. So I overall trust the information, but I use it oftentimes as a starting point if I want to go in depth research on a topic. Usually, for most of the movie reviews or art reviews that I give, I tend to give very superficial level information, stuff that you can find on Wikipedia or other websites. So it tends to be fairly accurate and stuff that you, me, or anybody can see for yourself that, hey, this is really what's going on here. And then, of course, my opinion is just that. It's my personal opinion, right? So I'm just gonna put some background music on. I just realized it's really quiet. So I'm just gonna put some background music. I used to not believe in having the background music, and then I've like, you know what? Let me try it for once for myself to see how I like it. And now I find it really weird not having background music on. So here we are, got the music going. Let me know, guys, if you can't hear it or if ever there's microphone issues or something, or I'm not coming out clearly. But I know I can hear the music, so I know that you guys probably hear the music as well. So, anyways, we're gonna go ahead and get going with our movie review of the movie 65. It's a movie that starring sorry, Adam Driver. Okay, he is in quite a lot of other movies as well. And it was produced by Sam Raimi, who's a big time producer in Hollywood. I think he's produced quite a lot of movies. And I think it includes like the original Spider-Man movie with like Tobey Maguire. I think he's produced quite a lot of other movies as well. I'm offhand, I can't remember all the movies that Sam Raimi has been in or directed or produced, but he's a big name producer. And his brother as well is in a lot of movies and is in Hollywood. Hollywood is that kind of place where once one family member is in, oftentimes you'll see the siblings, the cousins, the uncles, etc. I think Tom Cruise is the same thing. I think one of his cousins is also a fairly okay actor, pretty well known, like a B-list actor at best, basically. But he's also in quite a few movies and has does not have the Cruise name, but has the original family name. Because if you guys know, Tom Cruise, Cruise is not his actual family name. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Obviously, I'm not going to go into that rant of going into the Tom Cruise family name history and all that. So I'm just going to take a moment to have a little sip of tea, and I do definitely encourage you guys to go grab a coffee, grab some water, grab something healthy to drink, and I'll be right back in 3 seconds, guys. All right, so I'm back. So in the movie 65, shortened, I think they shortened it for 65 million years ago, because I think that was the original title that I saw in the promos for the movie. You follow Adam Driver's character, who's an alien. um his name is, let me see, yeah, Mills. Is The character that he plays is from a planet called Somaris, of course, which is a very distant planet and technologically advanced compared to Earth. He says, look, our daughter is sick. So their daughter is Naveen. His wife is Alia. So he convinces his wife, look, I need to take this one job to help her, to make sure that she has the funds to, get the treatment that she needs, right? He's a stand up guy, wants to make sure his daughter, is cured or gets the treatment she needs for the illness. Nothing wrong with that, but that does mean taking a sacrifice of leaving the wife and child behind to do this expedition, or in space for 2 years. Unfortunately, the daughter passes away while he's gone. Of course, you can tell that emotionally that this has, impacted him and left him a bit devastated. What parent wouldn't be devastated with the loss of their child, right? That's not a fun experience. And I hope that doesn't trigger anybody. So, obviously, if you guys have lost a family member, I do apologize. It's definitely a sad thing to go through. Definitely not fun, for sure. So during this mission, he's still on. He then goes through an asteroid mass. Now, obviously, guys, with a little bit of hints that I've given so far, you guys can sort of see where this movie is going, right? He ends up having to crash land on a planet. And of course, we all know they crash land on planet Earth. And if you guys know even just a little bit about science, 65 million years ago, what was on planet Earth? Well, ba-ba-dum, big reveal, of course, dinosaurs. But you also kind of know what happened about $65 million, 65 million years ago, not dollars, million years ago. Hello, hello, Tuber Chat. How you doing? It's the world famous, internationally renowned Tuber Chat, aka Kevin, and hello, Professor Black Ops. Thank you for being here as well. Thank you, guys. Sorry I couldn't greet you guys right away, but thank you for being here. And if you all can share, like, subscribe, uh, participate in my poll. Thank you, Tuber Chat, for sharing on Reddit. I know that's a bad habit that of mine of not sharing my own content on all these different platforms, let alone everybody else's. So thank you very much, Tuber Chat, for that. And taking the time for out of your day to be here and to listen to me ranting about movies and giving my thoughts about it. So thank you guys for being here and taking that time out of your day. And like I said, even if you're not participating in the chat and you're just in the background listening, I know Canadian is here listening in the background while she's cleaning around. That's absolutely fine. I get it. And this is the kind of video, and that's kind of why I like doing these lives, where I can just sit, talk, say my opinions, and know that you guys are listening. And if you want to chime in, that's absolutely fantastic. I definitely want to know your guys' thoughts. If you've seen this movie, by all means, participate. Let me know. But if you guys just want to sit and listen, that's absolutely fine as well. Hey, hey, Lashes Journey, how are you? How you doing? Sorry I missed your premiere this morning, Lashes, but I will watch it on the replay after this. But thank you for being here, Lashes. I know you as well are very busy. Mother of five, Wonder Woman out here with, 20 jobs, three, different passive incomes and all that. Honestly, I don't know how you live your life, Lashes. I could not keep up with you in your life, but I'm glad that you guys are here. And yeah, Professor Black Ops, Lashes Journey is definitely the real estate queen out here, making the big bucks and, leaving us in the dust in her trail of superpowers that she has. But yes, definitely a woman to be admired and respected, and to aim to become. Hopefully, I one day as well can say, yeah, I have all this income and this is what I'm doing and all of that. But, anyways, that's neither here or there. We'll get back to our movie review because obviously, as much as I love Lash's journey, we're not here to talk about her. We're here to talk about, or at least I'm here to talk about, the movie 65 that came out earlier this year. I think it's still in theaters in some places. I think, or at least it was last week. But I think overall, the movie did fairly okay. Um, but overall didn't make us up as much of a hype as it was, and I think they, even though it made a profit, I think they were expecting it to be the next Jurassic Park, so it didn't really make as much of a hit as they were hoping. It definitely wasn't a total flop, but not as much of a hit as they wanted to. So, anyways, this pilot, Mills, is now has crash landed with a ship, and the ship had, of course, lots of other individuals on it, because it was a an expedition, and it had several other passengers in, I assume, cryogenic sleep, because that's often what we see in these sort of space travel movies is everybody in cryogenic sleep, and all that. Most of the passengers pass away. So this is another one of those sci-fi horror movie tropes where if you have somebody crash landing on a planet and it's a ship with several individuals, of course, if there's hundreds of people that are passengers, unfortunately, all but maybe at most a dozen people will pass away. And of course, by the end of the movie, at best, two or three people survive, right? So in this movie, that trope is pretty much, of course, typical. And Mills and one other person survive, a young girl by the name of Koa. And they make it clear that Koa is s- unable to communicate with Mills as they speak a different language. Now, it's not 100% clear, but I kind of understood that they're both from the same planet of Somaris, but from different regions of the planet. So that's why Koa speaks one language and Mills speaks a different language. So it's sort of like how obviously I'm Canadian, I speak English and French, but we have people here in the chat, for example, that are from Indonesia or from Hong Kong, that they'll speak their language, right? Obviously. So obviously, even though they might understand some of the things I say, I might understand some of the things they say, but since it's obviously different languages being spoken, there's going to be communication issues. Now, he's made it clear to Koa that, hey, look, we need to go from where we are to this other place to get to an escape pod to be able to leave the planet. So that's where the movie picks up, is we're seeing them crossing that land and discovering, of course, big reveal. Da, 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 there's dinosaurs here because they've landed, like I said earlier, 65 million years ago on planet Earth, which was the Cretaceous period. And I did have to look at this up because it's like, I don't know. I love dinosaurs. I'm big into science, but I'm not so big into it that I know every single thing about it. So, the Cretaceous period, let me see, was from 145 million to about 66 million years ago, right? So quite some time ago that this happened. A lot of the dinosaurs that we think um, were part of this time period are some of the famous ones. Now, we see some of the typical ones that you would expect, like the T Rex, a raptor like type animal as well. And they encounter this sort of giant lizard one. I'm trying to see if I can find. Da, 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 let's see here. If they actually show. No, that's because I'm hoping I can find the. It's kind of like a large lizard, sort of like the. I think that this is it. Oh, yeah, here. I'm going to show you guys what they get attacked by. So, for those of you who are watching and not just listening in the background, you'll be able to see it. But even if you're listening in the background, it's sort of like what's it called? I'm blanking on the name, but I'll show it in the meantime so that way you guys can see. So it's not the kind of when we think dinosaurs, we think of T-Rex, we think of velociraptors, we think of the Triceratops, right? The big three, right? Those are the quote unquote holy trinity of dinosaurs. What I'm about to show you for me, I'm not looking at this animal like, oh yeah, that's a dinosaur. To me, that's a lizard. It's it's a modern animal, right? So they get attacked by one of these guys, right? Well, several of these guys, right? Um, to me, this doesn't like obviously in the movie it's much bigger, obviously. But in modern days, this is the kind of lizard that it's like maybe 2 3 feet, and some people I've seen it keep it as a pet. So obviously, for the movie, they scale up. They make it a lot bigger, and obviously, animals back in the day were a lot bigger in that time, right? Makes absolutely, absolute sense, right? So yeah, so they get attacked by one of these animals. So you're constantly seeing them being put in situations where they're being attacked by one dinosaur after another. Mills uses the geysers. So you kind of have a sense that maybe this is by Yosemite Park kind of area of the US. It's not really 100% clear exactly where they land, but you get that sense that it's somewhere there, right? So he uses the geysers to defend himself from this animal and from others as well. So they, of course, end up surviving. They end up reaching the escape pods, where, of course, just like Jurassic Park, they use the T Rex to be like, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna get you, and defend themselves, and they get themselves out of the planet because one of the big reveal is, well, the asteroids are now coming down to of course, wipe out the dinosaurs. So they're literally fighting for their lives against two enemies, the dinosaurs and the asteroids. Right. In my background, you kind of get the hint on the top there where you see Wikipedia. You kind of see the asteroid that I put in. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting that they did that those two instead of. So basically, that's what the movie is about, essentially. These two that are trying to survive, the dinosaurs that are going after them, and of course, trying to escape planet Earth before the asteroids hit. And they actually start hidden as the movie. So you're like, oh my God, are they going to escape? Are they going to get out of there in time? But of course they do. Of course, of course. Anyway, so of course now I'm going to give you guys my personal opinion on this movie. Now, overall, thought that this was an okay movie. Um I felt that the comparisons to Jurassic Park were way too obvious, way too soon, way too much, and it was like you just felt like you were watching, hey, you know that hit movie from back in the 90s that made millions and millions of dollars and had several other movies come out of it. Hey, why don't we just redo it? And that's what it kind of felt with this movie. It kind of just felt like it was an attempt to cash in on the Jurassic Park movie and spin-offs that they've had, and just going with it. And it didn't feel original. So like the idea in of itself was interesting, right? To have, what would have it been like to have humans or human like people come to planet Earth during the dinosaur era, right? When dinosaurs were actually around, right? What would it have taken to survive that timeline, right? The idea is interesting, but the execution was just so poor because at some point you see that humans actually come onto the planet, right? They show from when, really quickly at the end of the movie, they show the destruction of the planet, right? And of course, the asteroids wiping out dinosaurs. But then you see this quick time lapse of humans coming onto the planet and building a city. And it's like, okay, where are we? Is this movie trying to say that we're related to the Sumerian people of the sky that came to this planet, or are we a separate species? So that's the other thing that I didn't really like about this movie is that it kind of left a lot of unanswered questions, right? Um, like, are we related? Are they trying to pull a alien of movie where it's like that alien movie that they redid recently where it's like, oh, the aliens are engineers and they're the ones who created us and we are them, they are us, and it's like, okay, are they trying to imply that this guy, oh, we discovered this planet now that the dinosaurs are away, why don't we come back and populate it and make it another, it's kind of like they never really answered that. But I guess maybe they thought that if this movie made big bucks, that they might make a sequel and kind of answer that question. Maybe, I don't know. But to be honest, I don't know. I just find I was weirded out by that ending, and just like, because it kind of felt like, especially with the little girl at one point, you see her drawn on the caves and stuff, so I kind of felt that they were going the other route, that they um that they were going to end up getting stuck on the planet, and that somehow they were going to survive and maybe have kids. But then, like, the little girl was way too young, so I'm like, ooh, that would have been the really bad move if they went that route. But I thought, okay, well, maybe they would have found other survivors, and that's how, okay, the quote unquote human race ends up being on the planet, right? Was from these quote unquote aliens that came and crash landed, and just perfect timing, they were able to come to planet Earth as the dinosaurs were passing away, right? But of course that wasn't it at all. So it was just a weird way to end the movie, right? And I was a bit surprised to find out that it was written by the same people that wrote A Quiet Place. Um, was written by Scott Beck and Brian Woods. Um, the first Quiet Place was very well done. And you do get that sense that it was written by the same people, but not at the same time. What I mean by that, it's you'll see in The Quiet Place, for those of you who remember that movie, there were a lot of times where in the movie it literally went quiet, right? It literally went like you could not hear anything of what was going on, right? It went dead silent. And you had a lot of those beats in this movie. And in certain circumstances, that was a really great idea where there's one particular scene where the little girl is screaming hysterically because she just got attacked by one of the dinosaurs, and it goes quiet, and you can see in the background the dinosaur, the velociraptor like uh dinosaur coming out of the background and about to attack her. And of course, like, you're like on your edge of your seat, like, oh my god, there's a dinosaur there, get out, get out. And uh she screams again because all the dinosaur lunges after her, but because of the plants that were around, it saves her, right? Hello, AR Guns. How are you? Thank you for being here. Good morning to you, and thank you for being here to spend a couple of minutes with me and listening to me talking about the movie 65. So if you can, AR Guns, there is a poll. So if you can answer, let me know your thoughts. And if you've seen this movie, Let me know what you think about it. If you haven't, it's okay. No worries. Good, good. Glad that you're doing well this morning, AR Guns. And I hope everybody is doing well this morning. I know I'm a little bit tired personally, but it happens. We're not always going to be all energy, all positivity every time, every day, right? But I'm glad that you're doing well. Sorry, I just had to take a little second. So, in other ways as well, it was no worries about the typo. I know my fingers do not want to cooperate with me sometimes when I'm typing, and I often have to correct myself. And no, I meant to say this and not that. It was meant to do this and not that. It's like my mouth and my fingers don't like they can't keep up with my head. Like head goes faster than my fingers can type. So, but anyways, that's neither here nor there. But in other ways where it felt like the writing didn't match up to the movie was the fact that um like in the quiet place, um a lot was said with very little. In here, you could see that they made that same attempt of let's not say everything, right? Which can be a really great thing. We, the audience, we're not stupid. We're not idiots. We can understand, right? So, one of the scenes that you see Mills when he first comes out onto planet Earth during the daylight, right? Because he crashes at night, you'll see this big footprint. And it's a footprint of course, a Tyrannosaurus Rex. We know it's a Tyrannosaurus Rex, but him being an alien on this planet does not know. But then he just shrugs it off. Like, oh yeah, there's just like for me, if I'm an alien on another planet and I see this gigantic footprint, I'm scared as hell. I'm not gonna just shrug it off and continue walking like, oh la la la, I'm just on an alien planet and like my first concern is, hey, I need food, I need water. There's the gigantic creature that I have no idea what it is, what it looks like, if it's going to do something to me or not. And he's just walking around like there's nothing to be concerned about, and la di da. And wait a minute, what's going on? Even the little girl at one point looks up in the skies and sees the meteors because anybody who lives in the country or not in big city centers, at some points you can see meteors, right? To some degree, right? You see them in the skies. So she sees it, but doesn't tell him, hey, what the. So he has to discover for himself at some point. He looks up in the sky as well and sees, and just like, oh, there's these rocks. And a couple of times he's like, let me look again. And when it's really close, that's when he's like, oh, wait, there's these there's these meters coming down, and that's not good. We need to get out of here. And it's like you can say a little bit more without ruining that like sense of treating your audience like we're complete morons and have no idea what's going on. We have to have people there holding our hands to tell us what to do and where to go, right? I know what it like I said, I know what a meteor is. I know what a dinosaur is. You don't need to tell me, oh, that's this kind of that. You don't need to tell me, but a little bit more information in this movie would have helped. Would have been appreciated. So there's little moments like that where I'm like, now where I think they did very well in the movie, I think the special effects were done very well. The dinosaurs didn't feel like, yeah, this is obviously CGI, right? We have those movies back from the 80s and 90s, right? Especially where even if it wasn't CGI, even if it was like a costume that they made, like it's a costume, it was made by a person. It's not an actual dinosaur or monster or whatever it is. In this movie, it felt the CGI, even for the spaceship that Mills was in, it felt like, yeah, this is a spaceship. This is a dinosaur, a living creature. It felt organic. It felt natural. It felt like, yeah, that's what it. Now, obviously, are the dinosaurs in this movie accurate to what they actually look like? Maybe, maybe not. Right? There is a debate because For anybody who knows a little bit of about dinosaurs, there is a debate. Did dinosaurs have feathers? What did their skin look like? Because those things, obviously, when you're talking about prehistoric, none of that gets preserved, right? None of that is kept. Feathers, after a certain time, once they degrade, they're degrade. There's no traces of them, right? You don't know what skin looks like once a living creature passes away after a certain amount of time. Once the skin is gone, it's gone. You don't know if that person is, a certain skin color, the animal looks a certain way, right? So obviously for us in the modern world, we can take pictures. We have paintings of certain animals, right? So when those, when our kids and great grandkids unearth museums or us, chances are there's going to be things there to show, oh yeah, this person looked like that person looked like this, etc. So we'll have a better idea of what we look like. For dinosaurs, we have no idea what they look like. So I think they, in this movie, they had to take a certain amount of liberties as to what the animals look like. They had to just like, well, we kind of assume that this, goes here and does this and does that, and we'll just put it together and just, they had to take a certain amount of creative liberty as well, right? And they just had to, assume that, okay, well, based on the animals of today, based on the climate that would these animals would have been in, based on this, based on that, well, okay, well, we're gonna make them look like this. Plus, I don't know, the more lizard-like looking dinosaurs tend to be scarier, for me at least, than if they were covered in feathers, right? I'm not going to be scared of a raptor who actually looks like a bird, right? That's not, to me, that animal isn't going to look very scary, right? While as the one that we think when we think of raptors, right, we're going to be scared by that animal, right? So, um, another thing that was okay, the acting was okay. I'm not a big fan of Adam Driver. I think he's um what's her name, because there's two actors that tend to be very dry, very stiff in their acting, and he's one of them. I know there's Kevin Costner as well, that tends to be very, almost robotic in their acting. And I get he at moments does cry in this movie. He does break down in this movie, but for the most part, even when he's breaking down, it doesn't feel like, like when he finds out his daughter passes away, it doesn't feel like a man who's actually saddened by the news, right? And again, in parts of the movie, he has to be very stoic and very like, hey, look, I need to get off of this planet. There's this little girl that needs to get off of this planet. So I need to keep it together so that we can do that, so we can accomplish that. But it's other than those moments, there are moments in the movie where you get the impression that he is like, you know what? Why am I living? Why am I surviving? My daughter's not alive. I'm far away from my wife, etc. In those moments where a person should be breaking down emotionally, you don't see that with him, right? You don't see that tortured person that's like going through something that's really difficult and painful for them. You're right. It feels, literally, it feels like a robot crying. So the girl, I don't know the name of the actress that played the little girl. It felt genuinely like she's a little girl that's, I'm on this strange planet with these big monsters, these big animals. Oh my God, get me out of here, you know? And she finds out that her parents passed away. Like, so she, of course, is very emotionally involved and like, oh my God. And, and it's understandable. It's a little girl, never been through any of this stuff, right? While as Mills is, somebody that's been to other planets, that explored, that's been around the world, that knows that, hey, there are going to be dangerous stuff around. Even for the little girl in the one of the scenes, she goes ahead and tries to save one of the animals, not knowing, is this animal dangerous or not? Is this, what's the surroundings? And of course, the animal she saved ends up being attacked by other animals, and Mills tells her, "Hey, look, you need to be careful, right? You can't just do things, right?" So even though she's out here trying to save the, oh my god, this poor little animal, we have to do something, we have to intervene. She sees that, hey, the world isn't always going to be as nice and as kind as you would like it to be. So that moment in of itself, oops, sorry for the notifications there, that moment in of itself was a really good good notification to get, good um moment, sorry. Hello Bud Files, hello Moisha Empire, how you guys are doing? I hope you guys are doing well this morning, and thank you for being here to my little talking about the movie 65. So do take the poll, and I'm going to repeat. I know most of you guys have participated in the poll. So in the poll, I asked, do you eat food snacks during a movie at a theater? There's four answers. So yes, of course. No, too expensive, or you don't eat. Or three, I sneak in to save cost. And the fourth option is, if someone else is paying, you would eat the food. So most of you guys say yes, of course you would eat, and there's a bit of two or three people that have picked the either the second or third option. And I don't blame you guys for sneaking in food. It kind of can get pretty expensive. Here in Canada, we have a store called the Dollarama, which is the equivalent to the 99-cent store in the U.S. And I remember back in the day, the chocolate bars at the Dollarama used to be two for $1. Now they're like something like 80 cents or something like that, but still a lot cheaper than like a lot of these other um a lot of this other food that you can get. I think some chocolate bars at the movie theater can be like $2, $3, and I'm like, just look at it, come on, that's just ridiculous. But anyways, so yeah, so thank you. Yes, Lashes, do hit up that like button. For those of you who can, please share it out on your community tab, or if you have another platform like Reddit, Rumble, Instagram, whatever. If you can, please share it out. If you can or want to, please. Thank yous. So, anyways, overall, like I said, I thought the movie was okay. It was pretty decent, and it's that kind of movie that honestly, like, I'm glad I saw it in theater, but to be honest, would I go, like, here we also have, it's called the Dollar Cinema, and it's created by a local Montreal who was inspired by the Dollarama to make movies more accessible financially. So popcorn is like $1, $2, something like that. The food's really inexpensive. um and I would have gone to see it. Excuse me, I would have gone to see it there, right? Because the movie, for the movie, excuse me, the movie, the ticket, the popcorn, the food, everything would have cost me like under $10, right? While as just for the food alone, like I said earlier, cost me $11, right? So even though I'm getting a discount, this movie cost me maybe 20, $30 to go and watch it. And to me, it's like, it feels kind of ridiculous to be paying that much for this movie. So if you have that kind of movie theater where you guys are, where you have a theater where it shows movie at a cheaper rate, I would definitely recommend seeing that movie there, right? Or the other option is, I think it's currently available on YouTube and other movie sharing platforms. I think I saw that it's on Prime, Amazon Prime already. I know for sure it's on YouTube, but I'm not sure if it's anywhere else. Okay, so yeah, it is on Amazon Prime if you want to pay for it. Uh, but I think you can just rent it as well. So, anyways, I just find that this movie could have done better. It was an okay movie. It's the kind of movie that it's a good distraction. It's the kind of movie that you have an hour and a half to waste. You have nothing else to do on a Saturday afternoon. Might as well go ahead and watch it. Would it be the kind of movie where if they made it into a trilogy, into, oh, you have the prequels, you have the the knockoffs, the other, like, sort of like what they did with Jurassic World, where it became its own thing, right? I don't think it would be worth it, right? It's really that kind of movie where you see it once and you forget about it, right? It was, like I said, the idea of the movie was good, the execution, not so much, right? It missed quite a lot in the execution of its content, which is a shame. Is a kind of movie that could have probably done way better as well. Could have gone a lot farther, could have done a lot more, right? Unfortunately. So, anyways, that's pretty much what I want to say about this movie. I don't like to, dredge on my thoughts on the movie or opinions. So I hope that you guys enjoyed my thoughts on this movie. If you guys have seen this movie, if you're watching on the replay, comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about it. So I'm just going to take half a second to end the poll. So if you guys haven't answered the poll, now's your time. But I think everybody pretty much has. So I'm going to end it now, and we're going to see what the final results are. So, of course, there were a total of 13 votes. So, thank you everybody for coming in and voting. So 76% of you, so most of you said yes, of course you do eat food or snacks while watching a movie at a theater. 15% said no, you either don't eat or find it's too expensive. 7% of you guys sneak in the food to save costs, which, again, like I said, with the cost of the food, I don't blame anybody for doing that. And I know at my local movie theaters, they don't check your bags. So, I mean, honestly, if you want to bring in your own snacks, go right ahead. And nobody said if someone else is paying for it. So, on that note, guys, thank you again for being here and for taking time to be here in my live and listen to me ranting about this particular movie. If anybody does want to collab on movie reviews, on art reviews, on whatever, let me know. So I hope to hear from you guys about that. Hello, Life with Mecca and family. We're about to end the live, but thank you for being here. And I'm glad, AR Guns, that you enjoyed listening to it. So, Life with Mecca, bad timing. You just missed it, but it's okay. Thank you for being here. I appreciate all of you for being here, even if it's at the last minute, even if it's just listening to me in the background. Any participation, as far as I'm concerned, is good participation. So, thank you, AR Gun, for being here. Thank you, Life with Mecca, with B for being here. Don't worry about being late. It's okay. It's better to be late than never, right? You can always watch it on the replay. So don't worry. Don't feel bad. Nobody can make everything. Nobody can be everywhere all the time for everyone. So just watch it on the replay. Give it a good thumbs up, and that's it. So don't worry about it. Thank you, of course, Bang Osiep, for being here. Thank you, Moshe's Empire, for being here. Thank you, of course, Lash's Journey, for being here. Bad Files, for being here. Thank you very much. Of course, Tuber Chat, thank you for being here. Professor Black Ops, thanks so much for being here. Let's see who else. Who else? I feel like I'm missing a few people here. Of course, Chaos Rain. Thank you so much. Thank you, Canadian family, for being here as well. Tatum, thank you so much. Simply Jenna, thank you for being here as well. Nets Vlog, thank you for being here as well. Who else? And I think that's pretty much it. And if I didn't miss anybody, sorry about that. But thank you again, guys, for being here and taking the time to listen to me ranting and raving about this particular movie. And if you guys have any thoughts, any ideas that you want to share, you can always leave me a comment. You can go DM me in my Instagram, or you can find my email on the About page. Whatever you guys like, let me know. If you guys want anything, you guys, normal, if you guys need any thumbnails or videos edited, let me know. I'll be happy to help. So I'll leave you guys on that note. So have a great day and a great weekend. And I hope that your day is as awesome and as wonderful as you guys are. And I know you guys are all wonderful, awesome people. So thank you guys. Have a great Sunday and a great weekend. And I hope to see you guys in these beautiful YouTube streets. So have a good one, guys. Thanks again. Bye. Au revoir.